Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Ben. We're going to reevaluate some previous support and resistance levels and obviously redraw out some fibs and just generally kind of see roughly where we're at here, because in most cases when you have a situation like this, price is going parabolic, we want to look at, Elliott wave is potential in shorter time frames. We're also going to look at some relative strength index and obviously some key level supports and resistances based on more recent data. So we'll take a look at that and much more. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. And if you do want to learn something more, obviously, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below if you want to become a better trader. Okay. So what we want to do is look here, first of all, at a few key factors. And when it comes to the 4-hour time frame here, we can kind of see that we've got some pretty significant increase, right? We've got an overextension, most likely, let's double check that here. We hit an overextended period here previously, and it's pretty much gone parabolic ever since. So when you have these kind of runs, overextension doesn't matter too much in a lot of ways because it's just going to keep going if it wants to keep going, right? But you got to keep in mind, profits are going to be taken eventually. Those who got in at these early stages are probably going to be starting to sell, and there's going to be some late longs as well. So we'll take a look at that, but here's the thing that I want to point out. And the RSI was just barely over 50 last time I covered this here. And the bottom line here is that when we're over 50 in the RSI, that's a bullish sign, right? It doesn't mean it's just going to go crazy like it has, but it tells us we're on the right side of the tracks, right? A long position is much more viable. We can also see here as well that we broke over right here where the price action broke through this resistance level. We broke through 70 on the RSI too. And that's a good correlation there. That helps us reiterate the fact that this is a likely strong support level if the price were to pull back. So we're going to approximate there. Roughly about 10,000 is the number in which we should see the price pull back to if it does. And it should hold support there if it comes back to that level. Key takeaway here is that that's a previous resistance area. You can see it had trouble passing that level quite a few times, and then once it broke, it never looked back. Very, very common characteristic in breakout patterns. That being said, we also got a MACD convergence here, obviously still converging for the last couple of days. Key takeaway here is that we're starting to see that taper a little bit, so that might actually be the start of the price pulling back here, especially with these large candle wicks up that 26,000 mark. So all in all, 4-hour doesn't look terrible. We want to take a quick peek here at the moving averages. You can kind of see this ascending trend here forming. Typically, an ascending trend will run concurrent with the simple moving averages. So we're going to kind of pay attention to that. Generally speaking, this is an indication that the price action should continue upwards from here. Okay? But once more, keep this in mind. As soon as a trend line is broken, there's a good chance it could retrace. So the most important thing to pay attention to here is the 20-day SMA, especially on coins like this that are relatively new, because that really helps us understand specifically if we're on the right side or on the wrong side. That being said, we stay above this level, we're going to be in good shape. But at the moment we break below this ascending trend, you want to pay attention to how the price action continues from there. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean you just want to sell, but it does imply that this run is potentially over and that there is a good chance that before it legs up again, it'll probably need to consolidate. And a lot of times it needs to consolidate right at this halfway point. Okay? So just keep that in mind. That's potential reality there. So taking a look at the 1 hour here, we want to kind of look at this Elliott wave here and kind of just understand and, I guess, appreciate what's going on here. What I mean by that is that, with Elliott wave, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern followed by an ABC. Basically what that implies is we have 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows, which we can see were our starting point here with a higher high, higher low, higher high. Hypothetically, this will be the lower high, and then we're going to have a higher high next. Okay. So that being said, with where we're at right now, we're potentially halfway through this phase. In other words, with the price pulling back to this 0.5 level, look at that, price candle wick down perfectly to that 0.5. The price action should likely continue further up from here in this next run. Okay, now that's, of course, if this is the bottom. This may not be the bottom yet. The bottom could still be coming down to form. And if so, keep in mind, we have a support range here in the roughly $10,000 mark. But that being said, if the price comes down to that level, a bounce could potentially be a good place for a bouncing point, right? And then ultimately, the next leg up will be higher than the most recent. So that's pretty much what this is telling us. And it's not a guarantee it's just going to go to this level and stop. What it just implies is that if this is the low, the next high will be higher than the previous. Okay? So we should see another higher high moving forward. Once again, that's based on this being the lower high. I know it seems kind of funny and confusing, but generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at right now. All right. So generally, the overall sense of things here, hourly looks fairly bullish. Let's take a quick look at some other indicators that I like to kind of pay attention to, such as TD sequential. We came up to a 6, got a reset. We were previously up to an 8 and a 9. So obviously, we're seeing some overextension, but we're also seeing this nice, healthy continuation pattern. This up over staircase that I like to refer to as, okay? So when you see this kind of pattern, it's very helpful, very beneficial, and I definitely think that it's something worth considering. And what I mean by considering is just, hey, that's a contributing factor, something that's positive here, and that does tell us that we're not just a parabolic up and a parabolic down, it's technically working its way up the way that it should. That's what it's supposed to do. If you see a lot of resets here with these numbers, it tells you there's enough consolidation sideways before the price goes up again to warrant the next leg up, okay? So pretty much all bullish signs here. There's really nothing else we can really disseminate here. What we do want to look at is potential for greatness. In other words, how much better could this do, right? Because I get the question a lot, how much further can this go on this run? Well, hypothetically, if we see just say a 2x from here as far as a previous low to the most recent high, and say we push for that Elliott wave, that second leg up, right? If we were to do so, better case scenario is right around the 2.0 mark, basically the 2x. We're looking at roughly about 44,000, okay? Best case scenario, probably more like 55,000, but I think we should probably anticipate somewhere along the lines of that being a first thing first, okay? Keep in mind, 1.618 is the most common Fibonacci retracement level, or 0.618. That being said, 1.618 would make the most sense, so if we're going to have a profit target, I would say 36 to 37 would be the decent, realistic range here for the next leg up. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for there as a profit target here for this coin. So that's kind of where we're at there. One last thing to summarize with here, I want to kind of let you know it's really important to check this out because we have recently partnered with BingX. We get a $100 prize pool, or sorry, correction, $100 trading bonus to each person with no trading volume or deposit required. Okay, so this is more so designed as a pivot from Bybit because a lot of our members that use our auto trading system within our premium membership, they are at a disadvantage by using Bybit and having the KYC in a restricted country. Thankfully, BingX has you covered, and all restricted countries are effectively not restricted. No VPN or essentially KYC here for BingX. So consider using them. If you use my link, you get that free $100 trading bonus. Really awesome little benefit, so be sure to check that out. But at this point here, I would say it might be safe to presume the price will be range bound. If we get a bounce off that 0.5 level, we're looking pretty good, but I would expect the price action to, I would just say generally continue higher until this trend line is broken. If we break the trend to the downside, we'll have a different conversation, but for now, we got to expect it to continue until it doesn't. That's roughly where we're at. So awesome stuff, good things there. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take good care.